Done. All right. I'd like to welcome everyone to today's September 15, 2025 Seaford Board of Education meeting. My name is Jeff Benson. I will be presiding over the meeting today, and the time is 6 p.m. How's everybody doing? Good. All right. First item or second item on the agenda is approval of the agenda. I'll need a motion.
Jared Savage, I move to approve the agenda as presented.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion passes. All right, next item on the agenda is pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Brief moment of silence. Thank you. You may be seated. The next item on the agenda is the approval of August 18th, 2025 Board of Education meeting minutes. I need a motion.
I make a motion that we approve the 401 minutes of 8:18.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is public participation. Doesn't seem that we have any blue forms.
No, he did not.
All right, we'll move right along to our reports and presentations. And we'll start with the superintendent's communication.
Well, good evening. We are into the school year. We're past that first
All right.
week. I sent out an email to our principals at the end of last week, just asking for some updates, some celebrations. And I will share this from Dr. Harrison. She said one lunch is going well. They're working the kinks out along as they go, but students are benefiting from having 45 minutes to decompress in the middle of the day. They can be in the gym, the auditorium, eat outside in the back patio, eat in the cafeteria, or eat in the presentation room. So we do one lunch for all of the students and plenty of adults around, obviously. What it's done has limited the number of students leaving their class to go cruise by the cafeteria to find a friend. So she says there's also seems to be a trend downwards with discipline numbers, especially for skipping or inappropriate bathroom passes, things like that. Because kids don't have to look for an opportunity to find their friends. They know they're going to have it every single day. And as we know, a lot of our students, one of their main reasons for coming to school is to see their friends. And so there was one day, there was a little incident and they had to go the next day to a traditional lunch schedule. And the kids were exerting perhaps a little bit of positive peer pressure on their friends, like that it was important and something that they didn't want 45 minutes out on, 45 minutes, one lunch. So she also wanted to say thank you to the board for approving some curriculum purchases to help students master content. Dell Tech classes are up and running. They have 9 classes this fall, and then in the spring we'll have 11. We also have AP Art and DSU Spanish, as well as a variety of UD elective courses. A new science teacher started this week. I think Shannon, that was probably last week, and a new culinary teacher starts this week. Still a couple of openings, it looks like, in special ed, but they hired a chorus teacher and he's recruiting and building the choir program. So that's the update from the high school. Fred's theme is level up. PLC clubs have started. Instruction is in full swing. And we actually went through and did some instructional walkthroughs starting today. And yeah, I visited Fred this morning and it looked great. We got to visit the music class as well. Speaking of music class, we had a donation by the Freeman Stage, $2,000 per elementary school for the music teachers. And then in addition to that, art supply donations.
Wow.
And then the final donation that just came through this week was for our senior lounge over at the high school. Alan Boots is going to be donating $8,000 to support the senior lounge, with the interest of each year renewing a portion of that funds for upgrades and refresh and upkeep. So they will be working with Dr. Harrison and a group of students at the high school to plan for the purchases, get their investment in it. I'll certainly let you know when we have a ribbon cutting ceremony for the senior lounge.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You know, when it came to the one lunch idea, all I could picture was chaos. Honestly, that's all I could think in my mind when it was.
But this is where you trust your people, right?
Yeah.
And so I said to Dr. Harrison, okay. You have thought about all of the things, and yeah, she had met with her leadership team and all of her climate folks. And when I love going over there during one lunch now, because it's a great opportunity to see the kids, lots of staff members around. I was just there on Friday, and I mean, there's energy in the space, but it is not bad energy. It's just kids some of the kids that need to move for 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I swear they're doing laps of the space, but then there's other students just sitting on the floor in that central area. A ton of kids that just sit in the auditorium, are listening to music, talking quietly with friends. They're starting to figure out what to do with themselves for 45 minutes, because that's a big change too, right? But during the school day to have 45 minutes of unstructured time. But they're doing a great job. I'm very proud of Dr. Harrison and her team and our students for just stepping up and making it a good thing.
Awesome, awesome. Any board communications? Mr. Wright, you got anything for us? No?
I don't know, the EFC did not meet the stakes since the beginning of the school year. You know, folks are too busy. We will resume meetings on the second Tuesday of month is this? This is September, so October.
Yes, awesome. Dr. Savage?
No, sir.
Sure, good. I would say I did attend the Seaford Middle School's open house last week, which was really, really good. I attended as a parent. Not so much as a board member. I guess I wore double duty, but I would say that the warmth of the teachers were very, very welcoming. The environment from the principal, just reassuring the parents and the students that it's going to be a great kickoff of the school year. So I was really excited, and I even got a hug by Miss Gail. So it was all worth it for me. All right, 6.03 GBI staff participation, political activities regulation. Mr. Cam.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Benson. So as when we talk about this, we have the continuation of a policy review that we're doing, and this would have stuff in personnel. And as you know, Mr. Benson, we meet as a policy committee on the first Wednesday of each month. You have two board representations with Dr. Savage and Mr. Wright. And then it varies on who attends from this office, depending on who has policy to review. Although I somehow always seem to be in it. But this is our staff participation in political activities. There is no changes to this. So if you recall, what we're doing here is what has been done in the past was the only time that any policy was marked as having been reviewed is if it was revised. So the last time this policy was revised was in 1989. My hope would be that it's been looked at since then. But what we're adding to the book in the policy is that we're putting a review piece of that, so everybody knows the last time it was reviewed has been going. But there are no changes to this policy, and we're just presenting it for the review.
All right, thank you. Any questions? No. Moving right along, Mr. Cam, you take this one too. DBJ personnel and files regulation.
Yes, sir. So there's no change to this policy either. I can tell you though, this could be for but there's small, wasn't there? There, no, just straight review, right? Yes. Straight review of this one. There are some review coming, there's gonna be some revisions to the regulation, which will come to you in October, which I'll present to the policy committee at the October meeting. And it's just, a lot of it is some cleanup and some position titles and how some things are done. But just, and kind of correcting to how our procedures kind of flow now versus how they would have been the last time the policy was looked at. So this one too is just for review.
All right, thank you. Any other questions? No? All right, thank you. We move to our action agenda. 7 have Mr. Zoll speak to or clarify how school choice works.
You'll hear this again in October because I think I have the annual school choice presentation then to the public. But so in Delaware, school choice is a window where parents can apply. This coming year starts on Monday, November 3rd and runs through Wednesday, January 14th. And that's when students have to submit applications to attend for the following school year. There's a provision in state code called good cause. So if a parent misses that window, they can still apply and we'll consider it. And it's based on a few different things. Basically, if a change in a child's residence due to a change in their family residence. So if we have a student that is already here and then moves out of district, obviously we'll consider that school choice application for them to stay here after that window closes. Change in the state which they reside, change in a child's parents' marital status, if there's a guardianship change, placement in foster care, adoption, participation in a foreign exchange program, or if there's a reported, recorded, and substantiated instance of bullying against their child. So those are the ones we really look at if they don't use the window that we have for school choice development.
Any questions?
No.
Thank you, Mr. Zoll. Mr. Wright, will you give me the honor for the
Absolutely. Mike Schreider moved to approve school choice applications 2026-55 through 2026-62 and to deny school choice applications 2026-63 through 2026-67 as presented.
second? All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is field trips. Kind of pull mine up. Okay. All right, so it looks like we have 3 field trips. The first one being September 27th. Our NJROTC students, Seaford High School. At 10, they'll be from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. They'll be visiting the United States Naval Academy in Annapolis. The second one is March 20th. Again, NJROTC students. They'll be visiting the battleship in New Jersey, Camden, New Jersey. They'll experience the firepower tour and learn ship-specific history and onboarding on the battleship. The last one is March 26, 2026. It's a social studies field trip. They'll be going to the National Mall. Students will tour the White House or Washington Monument and visit the Smithsonian Museum and War Memorials. All right, I need a motion to approve the field trip agenda as presented.
I make a motion, we approve the 7.02 field trip agenda.
Mike Schreider, second.
We have a motion on the second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is facilities requests. So the requester is Lynn Amati from Our Lady of Lourdes, and the event is the Hispanic Community Fair. The rental date is September 13th. This is already passed. Is that correct?
I'll have to check on that. Is it?
Saturday.
Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm hoping they had a great event.
It was a good time. A lot of people were there.
Awesome. I guess we need to make a motion to approve this, and so I need a motion. Do we? It wasn't on last month's agenda.
All right. So I'll make a motion to approve the 7.03 facility request.
Mark, sorry, I think.
Right, we have a motion and a second. Any questions? All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right. Next item on the agenda is JLCC, Communicable Infectious Disease Policy. Mr. Zoll.
So this is just the second reading, from last month, this policy had not been updated in 1989, so it needed some. We just updated to have the present day, that's when our nurses did a huge lift on making sure this policy works for them, in the full.
All right. Any questions?
Nope.
All right, I need a motion to approve the second reading of JLCC Communicable Infectious Disease Policy is presented.
Sarah Savage, I move to approve the second reading of JLCC Communicable Infectious Disease Policy as presented.
Mark, sorry, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. The next item on the agenda is JIIIA, Seaford District, School District Title IX Policy.
Yeah, so there is a small change this one for the second reading. We just found out after the last board meeting that the civil rights office in Philadelphia is actually being closed down. So we had to change the address on the policy to the closest one, which is the Atlanta office. So
Oh,
that's a
wow.
big change in here, is that the office is in Atlanta. If you have questions about
Yeah.
So that means we contact Atlanta if we had.
if there's any issues, yeah, or if you have any questions about the actual federal regulation.
Oh, wow,
That's it.
okay. All right,
That's it.
the recommended action is to approve the second, well, actually,
Point of order, you had a question, Maurice?
I needed to go back into that facility, we did have the wrong date on there, it's 12/13/2025 is the date of the event.
12/13. All right. All right.
Yeah, we need to go back. We can finish this one and then go back, because we're in the middle of this one.
All right, Marcus, did you have a question?
No, I was recognizing. the-
Oh, okay, thank you. The recommended action is to approve the second reading of JIIIA, Seaford School District Title IX Policy is presented.
Mark, sorry, I move to approve the second reading of JIIA. Eleven my policy, Super School District, no, my policy is presented.
We have a motion to second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. We will be going back to 7.03 facilities requests.
What's the
To,
date? 12?
12/13/2025.
all right. The recommended action is to approve the facilities request as presented.
Mark, sorry, I move to approve the facilities request agenda as amended.
As amended.
Excuse me.
Second.
Yes.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Did you have it on your side?
So I had it in the rental, actually, I copied them out, and I put them in here in my folder, so I had the form that we get from the renter.
Understood.
So, yeah.
Thank you. All right. Next, item on the agenda is SEA 25001 DAO EXRN change order 001. And that was the image.
Yes, sir. So basically, it's right here at the district office. It was waterproof in the basement. The unforeseen is what they call it, architect call it. So basically, when we dug out, we realized that the basement hadn't been water sealed. So we put waterproofing on that, dug it all the way down to the bottom of the block and put that in there. We have rim boards that are rotten from where the concrete was allowing water in between the rim boards and that. So that's replacing those, putting new plywood, and also treating that waterproofing that membrane.
Understood.
So that's what the change was for.
Question for you. When you
Yes.
talk about waterproofing, is that like the dry material?
It's something like that, but it's a different material outside. So it's done on the exterior of the building.
Understood.
The dry tech is done inside.
Inside. Got it.
So, but very familiar, very similar to that, but it's actually painted on.
Okay.
So they clean the masonry and then paint it on there to seal everything from the outside.
Understood.
Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, the recommended action is to approve change order 001 as presented.
Darren Savage, I move to approve, FEA 25001 DAOXEXRN as presented.
Marcus Short, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, next item on the agenda is FY 26 paraeducation salary schedule. Mr.
Change here is not actually in a number, it's actually in grammar down at the bottom. Parapros for AID and AIE. It's to clarify based off of a lack of clarification from last year's code and how it's presented. And then we made a modification that we thought was clarifying it, but it actually was not. And so we removed that, and basically to show that basically if you, on the state side, a parapro, you get 1,000, and if you get a state bachelor's for those two, you get 2,000. You get one or the other, but not both. And
Understood.
so what we did is we clarified that process so that it's clear on here. What I also wanted to point out, what we try to also do is we always are going to err on the side of code. Code is what dictates, and then we want to bring to you. So I think everything got fixed before the payroll actually hit because we were following what code said.
Mhm.
And so what I did, we do need to formally approve the actual salary schedule because we take code and we take the local bargaining agreement and we put those together to create something called our salary schedule. So to make sure the salary schedule can be published in public, we wanted to have you reapprove that process.
Understood. Thank you. Any questions from the board?
Yeah.
All right, the recommended action is to approve the FY 26 paraeducator salary schedule as presented.
Darren Savage, I move to approve the FY 26 paraeducator salary as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries.
On this one, we had one sale on the local side that was not following the same index that it was supposed to on the local side.
Mhm.
So we did actually go back and fix that. We're asking you to approve the salary schedule based off of that fix. We have a process that we go through each year. That's called the mass update process. And normally before it even hits the books, we actually have already done the validation. Moved to turnover of staff this year. We were in a situation where we were a little longer catching it, but in our check that we do, the cross checking of people's work and everything, we were able to find that this was an issue. And we wanted to go back and have you fix it because it didn't match what again, we do code, we do collective bargaining agreement, and then we create a salary schedule, and we make cost check, we found this, and it's only one person that was impacted by that one cell being wrong, but we need to fix that, and so we need y'all to reapprove it so that we can formally do the process.
We appreciate your thoroughness and transparency in that. All right, the recommended action is to approve the FY 26 custodial salary schedule as presented.
Marcus Short, I move to approve the FY 26 custodian salary schedule as presented.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, the next item is school tax distribution.
This is something you've seen prior. What this is also to do is to fix, in the technology sale for match tax, you will see 0025. Last time this was presented, that was 0026. So we need to lower that number, which is all this is how we distribute money. We're not lowering the tax rate, we're not increasing the tax rate, we're not modifying the tax rate. All we're doing is basically distributing the money in a different fashion. The state and the county pretty much, we've done the tax warrant, bills have gone out. We're changing the way that is distributed. So we need you to approve that change in distribution before we can actually do it. What you'll see in a few minutes, and I'll explain that is how it's going to impact your taxes as well.
Can you speak to the rounding part of that?
Yeah, well, because we, usually we were at $4 and some change, right? Now we're at hundreds of pennies, you know, so, or hundreds of cents. So we get down so much smaller that what you'll traditionally see is with more decimal places in the system. I think the state system actually is only supposed to support 4, and we go out to 6 decimal places, so we will run into rounding errors from time to time. And so even in our prior one of the rounding errors was it rounded that up to 26. Excel had it 26, and it really should have been 25 because it rounded up everything. It didn't look at the whole number, it looked at each individual number as an individual.
And this was more about the error, how DOE was able to list our distribution. Like it was correct for our purposes where we go to 6 decimal points, but when they wanted to take it to 4, their numbers didn't add up. So we went back to change our distribution.
Yeah, so it really is, just clarifying, and I think it ends up impacting us maybe for tech match. I think, the way it presented, it goes down. I think it was $3,000 that I computed. We don't bring in $3,000 less or more. We just are distributing it into tech. It's going to be in the other buckets because of that.
Understood. Yes, sir.
Because that point, that 0.001 decimal is no longer basically available to people because it was rounded up. Yeah, but it really doesn't impact the number we actually get because it's a match tax and it's based off of an amount we would have only gotten if we matched that.
Yes, sir.
So you could use that in any of that category when you have that, when you round it up or something. That's all, we don't use that, you can use it, distribute it in any category.
No, sir, whatever you get elected for has to be used. But when y'all approved it originally is what I'm saying, that 31.04 cents was distributed out amongst all those areas. It's just that one area got 0.001 less cents.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
Yeah, very good.
Understood. Any other questions? No. All right, the recommended action is to approve the school tax distribution as presented.
Darren Savage, I move to approve the school tax distribution as presented.
Marcus, second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, Mr. Patches.
All right, so this month. Operating unit expenses. As of month end, we're at basically 17% of the fiscal year being completed, with a total of 17.3% expended. And with encumbered sitting at roughly about 25.25% overall. Not bad for where we sit in the year, not bad at all. We will be, you'll notice, please note the approved changes in last month have been reflected in this report. That was student services being increased. It was also, that was for PBS funds that we talked about. The need to move transportation back to last year's estimates, so that update has been made. And removal of the vocational funds underneath the high and middle school, because one of the things we had talked about prior was making sure that we clear this up for all local funds only before we even talk about long-term going to a all funds budget. Which, as we started to reflect on, all funds, if you see why with vocational funds being put into a local funds budget, that they could throw your numbers off. Because in the past, it's always been presented that way. So that's why one of the things we want to do is figure out how we do this. Or maybe it's 3 different all funds, but I don't know. We're still working through that. But for now, we're going to continue with the way we've been doing it, with just tweaking what you're seeing so that you know exactly what you're getting is the local side. With that being said, we plan to adjust after unit count for the building budgets. We've got a process that will true up based off of unit count that will take those, because we did start the school year off at 75%. So what we'll do is after unit count, we'll true that up based off of the distribution of students. You know how they come in, based off of that process, which we're actively involved in right now. Any questions on that one?
No.
All right, tax collection. Tax collection is at just over 34K this month. About 18K of that was in delinquent, closer to 19. And at this point, we were at about 82 pay collected for the year. Remember, as tax bills are due in the September, October, and November, will start to ramp up a lot. So you'll see larger amounts of taxes being collected during that period. Any question for that?
No?
All right. Monthly, set asides. Set asides has a charge in buildings and grounds or an encumbered amount of 107,365. If you remember last month, y'all approved us using set asides for the HVAC. That's basically what is reflected there. It's a borrow, right? Or trying to figure out what interest rate we borrow. He knows some guys, so. But yes, 107,365 is what we have encumbered for that project to make sure, and by the time it's done, we'll probably see an expenditure. And then we'll see a reimbursement, after we get throughout the year. This was more of a cash flow thing that we needed, so we borrowed against our set aside, which that's what that's for. It allows us to do these things. I mean, this is exactly why we're planning it, and this is exactly why we have set asides. It's not money that we can just use or we won't have. But we have that so that we can, when these big expenditures come up, we don't have to worry about taking from other areas. We're able to use that, borrow from ourselves. So I think we're at a good point there. So if you have any questions about that. No?
Yep.
All right. Before we do any approvals on this, I wanted to go back to the tax page real quick.
Yes, sir.
And I want to highlight one thing. Over this past month, we've had about 15 people call in that had questions about their tax bill. So just want to highlight the fact that about 15 from your constituents, about 15 calls have come in. Most all of the questions have been about, about understanding the tax bill, why it went up, why there was a change. We've explained the way the rates went way down, but the assessments went way up. So there was an adjustment in the formula. We talk about the classification of property and how they moved from maybe, I say reclassification, the reassessment may have been in the past that they were maybe under or over assessed. And then this time, this is based off of the current assessment amount, not a 50-year old one. We also discussed what the idea of revenue neutral was, what that actually meant, what a 10% increase meant or did not mean. And we talked about tuition, and I think one of the main questions that I also got, just for y'all to know, and in true transparency, Sharon and I personally called back everyone. We looked at their tax bills, we did an analysis of their tax bill, either together or separately, and we called them out individually. And I just want y'all to know that there was questions around even the senior and disabled veterans tax credit. For those types of questions.
I think we only had one person, because they passed legislation that a tax increase of more than $300 could be, they could apply for like a payment plan. Of the 15 or so, I think it was closer to a dozen, but of those 15 folks that called, we only had one person whose taxes went up. So to the extent that they kind of asked about that payment plan. So and that's separate through the state. They did go in and there's like an online portal for folks to request that.
I think, and I don't want to talk to you, but I believe that I feel like it's very positive too. I think when people actually, although we share a lot of information publicly, we use social media and everything, I think the group of people that were calling in, it was, it just needed some clarity on the why. And then to be honest, I mean, my bill changed eventually, and if I had been involved in this process, I probably would have had some of the same questions. Right. So we were able to answer those questions, and I think the personal touch back to call them.
I think that was a really valuable opportunity. He's speaking with those folks. Absolutely.
So just wanted to let you know kind of the status of what we heard from the community so that you could have a.
Thank you.
But that is, again, going to be reflected over the next few months as this changes, because we're going to see those funds start coming in.
We appreciate you reaching out to them, talking directly with them. Anything else? All right, any other questions? Be good, Dr. Savage?
Keep going, all right.
All right, okay. The recommended action is to approve, the financial reports as presented.
Mark started move to approve the financial reports as presented.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And that motion carries. All right, we're moving right along. Better give y'all some time back.
It'll keep you in that seat.
All right, so our long range agenda.
There's a lot.
There is, so I'm not gonna read everything, but what I will say is we have a movie on the football field tomorrow. At 6 p.m. At the high school. Schools are closed on September 26th for professional development. We have the Powder Pup game at 6:30 p.m. on October 1st. Miss Emma, are you playing? Are you coaching?
She coach.
No.
All right. On the second, we have school custodial appreciation day. We also have a school dance at the middle school on October 9th at 6 p.m. Schools will be closed on the 10th for professional development, but we also have our homecoming parading game that night. So make sure you wear your school spirit.
This year.
This year.
No, this week,
First day, all right. If you was at the game on Friday, which I was, it was a nail biter. Till the end, it was a really, really good game against Colonel Richardson, and our boys were doing really, really well. Our next Board of Education meeting is October 20th at 6 p.m. And I guess we'll see you all there. All right? All right. The next item on the agenda is executive session. I'll need a motion to go into executive session.
Mark started move into executive session.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor, say aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. The time is 6:37. That concludes this portion of the